Well, for more on today's proceedings at the state capture inquiry, we cross live to our reporter in Parktown, SABC's Mzwandile Mbeje. Very good morning to Mzwandile. Thank you very much for joining us. A very interesting testimony given by Vytjie Mentor yesterday, somewhat also describing it as very comical. What are we expecting as she takes to the stand today?
Thank you very much. That evidence continues today. The proceedings will start slightly earlier than usual. Ordinarily, they start at 10, but because there's a number of issues that the Commission needs to go through, because a number of people have made applications to cross-examine some of the witnesses, so the Commission will also have to look into those issues. So the evidence of Ms. Vytjie Mentor yesterday was not concluded because it would have taken perhaps a lot more to go through what she was saying. So the legal team said they would rather stop it when it was an hour before the proceedings concluded, to allow her to be able to read some of the documents which were only furnished to her a few days earlier. So we expect that evidence to continue once all the legal issues have been sorted out here by the Commission. And of course, you've mentioned some of the things that she did say, talking about that route and that cancellation and the circumstances under which it came. But we understand that once the processes, once the decisions have been made with regards to whether people will cross-examine or not, so some of those issues will then be subjected to those tests. I may hasten to add that insofar as the application to cross-examine is concerned, so the legal team of the Commission is basically saying they don't have a problem with people who are implicated who want to be to cross-examine, but themselves as well must be subjected, because they would have provided a particular version, so they want that version as well to be tested. So the evidence will continue today, and then we expect perhaps to hear a lot more than what we did yesterday.
Definitely, Mzwai. In terms of what we heard yesterday from Vytjie's testimony, it's still mind-boggling on how a private family is said to have so much influence as well as confidence in making that proposition of cabinet posts to individuals. Just take us through some of yesterday's highlights.
Absolutely. You'd remember that this very commission came about because there were complaints from various people. This issue had been in the media for quite some time, but then there were people who then took this issue to the public protector to investigate. So once the public protector had investigated the issue, she of course recommended that the president set up a commission of inquiry. It's specifically to deal with the issue of the influence by by this family. So the part of the terms of reference is that the issue of the appointment of cabinet ministers and the removal of cabinet ministers were influenced from outside. And you know that in terms of the constitution, the person who appoints the ministers and removes the ministers is the president of the republic. Anyone else who were to do that, so it would be in violation of the law. So what is basically happening is that this commission is testing that allegation. I mean, we heard from the former Deputy Finance Minister, SABC Jonas, really saying he also was offered a cabinet post, and then we heard yesterday as well the former MP, as you've alluded earlier, that she also was offered a post. So then the Commission now has a responsibility to establish the veracity of those claims, because if indeed it's true, it will be a violation of the Constitution, because the Constitution allows the President of the Republic to make those appointments.
Definitely. Let's wrap it up there. That was SABC's Mzwandile Mbeje, just giving us some updates as well as a preview into that estate capture inquiry, which is set to resume this morning.